You're absolutely right. It's a great point. And what we at Media Matters think is that we have to be as aggressive as possible about debunking things that are false. But he's right. I mean, let's face it, the people who are actually buying this book are people who are true believers in the conservative cause already. I don't think there are very many independents who are going to buy this book to try to figure out, you know, what they should think about who to vote for the presidential campaign. But at the same time, you know, one of the things that we know from communication research is that people don't always remember where they heard something. You know, you can hear something on the CBS Evening News, and you can hear something else in an email that somebody sent you, and a week or a month later, you may retain the information and remember, oh yeah, I heard that that Obama's a secret Muslim, but you might not remember where exactly you heard that, if it was a credible source or a source with no credibility. And I think that's kind of the operative theory that a lot of these campaigns run on, is that if they can just get that stuff out there and get people to repeat it, then maybe they'll forget that they heard it from a source that didn't have any credibility, and in the end it'll just lodge in people's mind and raise those kinds of doubts. But as to what we at Media Matters do, I think that in a case like this, we feel like we don't have any choice. That Mr. Corsi is out there, the things that he's saying are being echoed in all kinds of other places, whether it's right-wing talk radio or in emails or on conservative websites. And so the only choice you have is to be as aggressive as possible about saying this is what the facts are, and hopefully enough people will hear that this stuff won't kind of lodge into their memories and stick there.
And if just to address the previous two callers' questions, you know that not only on this program but on our Book TV program, we present a wide range of political books, especially during a campaign season. They will say various amounts of things. One of the interests in bringing Mr. Corsi on was on the condition that we bring someone like Mr. Waldman on to take issue with Mr. Corsi's claims, as well as presenting the Obama campaign's directly response to this book. So I hope you keep that in mind as you watch our coverage and watch all the things that we do politically, that if you watch in the course of a whole, that you see a wide variety of inputs and viewpoints. You said conservatives pushing this book. Does that explain directly heading it to the top of the New York Times bestseller list?
That is a big part of it, because this book, well, to understand what goes on in the publishing industry, there are a number of very conservative publishers. Regnery is the most prominent. Mm-hmm. They didn't publish this book. A couple of years ago, some of the major publishers decided, well, you know, the conservatives are having great success with selling a lot of copies of these books. There was a whole industry just devoted to books saying that Bill Clinton was destroying America, basically. And so a couple of those mainstream publishers decided that they were going to get on the act too, and they formed imprints, divisions, that were devoted to just conservative books. When Simon & Schuster decided to do this, they said, okay, we're going to form a conservative book imprint. And instead of getting somebody from the publishing industry to head it up, they decided we're going to get somebody from conservative politics to head it up. They got Mary Madeline, who is a longtime GOP operative, a very close confidant of Dick Cheney's, mm-hmm. And she is the head of this imprint at Simon & Schuster called Threshold. They're the ones who put out this book. And one of the things that people might not realize about the publishing industry is publishers generally don't do fact-checking. They rely on the goodwill of the author to make sure that everything is true. In this case, I think that it would have behooved them to actually do their own fact check of the book, given Mr. Corsi's track record. So once he comes out with this book that's published by this conservative division of a major publisher, then he gets to slip right into this conservative promotion machine. So he's already been on Fox News more times than you can count. He's going on all the big conservative talk radio shows, many of which have huge national audiences. And there are conservative mailing lists that are pushing it. The website that he works for is trying to get people to buy the book. They send out emails saying buy 2, buy 3. And so it's a terrific promotion machine that has the effect of increasing those sales and driving them up. And then once it gets on the bestseller list, the mainstream media feels like they have no choice but to pay attention, and the mission has been accomplished.
For our line for those who support Senator McCain, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Good morning, gentlemen. I understand why books like Jerome Corsi's Obama Nation and books like The Case Against Barack Obama by David Freddoso have been written. Now, the subtitle of David Freddoso's book is The Unlikely Rise and Unexamined Agenda of the Media's Favorite Candidate. My question for your guest, Mr. Waldman, is does he believe that the American people know everything there is to know about a presidential candidate like Barack Obama? And my second question is, does he believe that the mainstream media has done everything they can to investigate the background of Barack Obama? Thank you.
I think that the media hasn't probably done enough to investigate both candidates. And there's an assumption out there that, well, we already know everything about John McCain because he's been, a senator for 25 years. That's not true either. There's a lot of things that people don't know about John McCain. John McCain's relationship with the media is its own story. And I should say David Brock and I wrote a book called Free Ride about John McCain in the media, which is a fascinating topic, but maybe for another day. I think that what's behind that question is that there's some kind of secret, hidden agenda or some sort of skeleton in a closet somewhere that, the idea is that Obama may look like he's, pretty progressive, but not out of the mainstream. And once he gets into office, he'll turn out to be something completely different and have this totally different agenda that's going to be so terrifying. It's something that a lot of people thought about Hillary Clinton. A lot of conservatives for years have said that, yes, she looks actually like a pretty moderate Democrat, was very hawkish on foreign affairs and things, but that's just window dressing. Once she becomes president, then she'll take all that off, and you'll see the secret socialist that was lying there all along. I don't think that is true, and I think that the best judge of what a presidential candidate would do in office is what they say they're going to do when they're on the campaign trail. And there's actually political scientists have gone back and researched this for many, many years, and most presidents actually do almost all the things that they said they were going to do, or at least they try to do them once they become president. And so, I believe John McCain when he says what his agenda is on taxes and on foreign policy. I don't think that he's got some secret agenda. You can disagree with what his agenda is, and I think the same thing about Barack Obama, that what they're saying is a pretty accurate representation of the things that they're going to try to do. Maybe they'll succeed, maybe they'll fail, but I think that the idea that there's some kind of secret hidden agenda that's going to be totally different from what they're saying on the campaign trail is something that there's just no reason to think that that's true.
Do you assume that people who buy the books like that take it at face value?
I think that in a lot of cases, yeah. I mean, the thing is, people tend to agree with things, tend to take things more at face value when they already agree with them. We're much more skeptical about things that we don't like. Mm-hmm. And if we're hearing somebody who comes from the other side of the political aisle and is telling us things that we don't want to hear, if you're an Obama supporter and somebody's telling you Obama's terrible, then you're going to be much more skeptical about what that person has to say, and you're going to examine those claims and figure out whether they're really true. If somebody comes along and you don't like Barack Obama and somebody tells you, well, he's even worse than you thought, then you're going to be very open to that stuff, and you're not going to greet it with the same skepticism. And I think that these books, their core audience really is the true believers, and they are going to take everything at face value.